You need to watch.
I hope you have fun. I hope you have fun, but,
Need to.
yeah, I hope you tag out, but.
I don't know. I saw enough. I watched the movie. Has anybody seen Cocaine Bear?
Yeah, I wanted to. It's
It's
based
like on Netflix. I watched it this
Yeah.
week.
based on some true story.
I looked in it because I was curious, and it's true in that there was a bear
They got cocaine.
that got cocaine,
Yeah.
and that's where it all ends. Like everything after that is all made up.
16 seconds
But-
behind. 16 seconds.
Because it's our Wi-Fi and that's how slow the Wi-Fi is.
Well,
compared to the
yeah, it's just
Sonic.
whatever time.
So I did the math on it, of all the total, it boiled down to basically 20 tags that they give. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
What you're saying.
Fry,
Present.
Keating,
Present.
Snellings, Bikeman,
Present.
Draki,
Present.
Price,
Here.
Barons. Here. Throm.
Here.
7.
Okay. First up, we have the approval of the minutes from the meeting on April 10th.
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes, April 10th, 2023, as written.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? Changes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I see that.
Next, we have public comment. Anybody here for public comment? Business and discussion items. First, we have the Mother's Day flea market. With Stacy Mayer.
Good evening. So, I'm not sure how you want me to go through this. Do you want me to just kind of read through it, or have you all read it?
Make a presentation so that the people out in the audience or on camera know what you're
Okay.
talking about.
All right, so tonight I'm here to talk about some things that we are asking from the city to help with the Mother's Day flea market. I've outlined those in a letter, but I will go through them. The first one is if we could have the electrical outlets and the breakers checked ahead of time so that we can make sure if there's any repairs that need to be made can be done. The second is the entrances to the park. We would like those to be barricaded with cones at 4 on Friday, May 12th. And we'd like the cones so they can be movable so that as vendors enter, and we can move them so that they can get in and out. The third item is to place a no long-term parking sign by the playground parking area on Thursday morning and a no long-term camping sign in the park on Tuesday before the market. I understand we have had to move some campers out of there in the past, so hopefully that doesn't happen. The next one is to ask the Marysville Police Department to check several times during the evenings of May 12th and 13th to make sure the barricades are up and no one is cruising through the park. The next one is we would like to request the use of gators and golf carts for the volunteer workers, probably just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we're asking if we could have extra trash receptacles in the park and possibly arrange for dumpsters through temps. We ask that the trash barrels be checked at the end of both Saturday and Sunday and be dumped. And if possible, if we could have additional barrels near the portable toilets and another dumpster from temps, that would be helpful. The next one is to make sure the public restroom in the city park is open and well-stocked. So, and if someone could check it regularly to empty the trash and restock. The next one, we are planning to host the chicken barbecue on Sunday in the Helvering Center. With the tent being damaged, this year, or last year, at Gravel Dash. We thought that would just make it easier. And that way we don't have to rent tables and chairs, so the setup and takedown should be a lot easier. We will be doing dine-in and carry-out for that meal. And then lastly, we ask if we could have your help in transporting the potatoes. Mrs. Salmon's class at the high school and RSVP have agreed to prepare our potatoes for the barbecue. If we could just have someone pick them up and take them down to the wagon wheel for storage. When we know, I can let you know when they're ready. Any questions?
Are you arranging for the porta potties, or are we supposed to? Dom wanted me to ask that question.
I am arranging.
You're arranging.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he just wanted to say he wanted to show you where he thought they would be best set.
Oh, okay. Mary Weichert had showed me where she
Okay.
had wanted them placed, so do I need to talk with him?
Yeah, if you two want to talk together, that would be
Okay,
great.
who is that again?
Huh?
Who is that?
Just Dom. You just call the city hall and we'll get him over
Okay.
to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Move to approve request.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We do have over 90 vendor spaces sold today, and the library and Marshall County Arts are sponsoring Big Bang Boom, I believe it is. It's a children's band to perform at 11:30 in the park on Saturday. So, okay, next I'm here to represent the Big Blue River Days Festival, which is held on June 2nd and 3rd. And again, I'm here to ask for help and assistance with that event. So the first request is that the rail bed on the 7th Street be closed from the area from Broadway south to Walnut and Elm from 6th to 8th, including the Helverine parking lot and the city parking lot south of the Helverine Center from Thursday at 5 to Sunday at noon, and that the power be checked and ready to go by June 2nd. The next item is the Big Blue River Days Committee is planning to replace the tent that was damaged. Allie Argo is in charge of that, and she will be in contact about the tent. The next item is we're again planning to have the bands at 7th and Broadway in front of the Pony Express Rider from approximately 6 p.m. to midnight, both Friday and Saturday. We ask that the area in front be barricaded for dancing on Broadway. Friday evening, Friday cruise night, or Friday night cruising. That is going to be in the area in front of the bands. That area will not be closed until after the cruise night is over. I think I kind of spit that out. The next item for Saturday's car show, we ask to again close Broadway from 10th to 5th Streets and half-block side street closures for the show cars. We will also ensure the post office is accessible during its hours of operation. The next item, we ask that the city again provide free city pool passes for car show and barbecue competitor families. We will be hosting the Beer Olympics again, and that will be held on Saturday. We would like to request the use of the green space behind the murals by the pony statue. The games that are scheduled for the event are Warshers, Cornhole, a Chug-Off, and Beer Pong. Next item, Saturday will again include events for kids on 6th Street between Broadway and Elm, including face painting, inflatables, snow cones, and animals. Saturday afternoon, we'll again have announcements and music near the Pony Express statue. We are once again working on plans for a cornhole tournament on Friday evening to keep visitors downtown later in the evening. No additional closures will be required for this event, which will be in a new location. It will be held in the green space behind the murals. New to the weekend is the first annual Big Blue Parade. This event will be held on Saturday at 4. We will be in contact with details and would love to have the city and its departments' participation. I do believe that Ally has been talking with Cindy about the beer bin.
There will be an issue with that. We
And we-
cannot have alcohol consumption on the street
Okay.
if there's motor vehicles going through. So we'd have to stop selling alcohol at like 3:30 before the parade, and then we couldn't do it again till after the parade was over. Technically, they can't consume or sell during that time frame. Just, that's a state regulation.
What if there's already beer on the street?
I know,
Like,
that's gonna be an issue. So, I mean, we thought if we weren't selling it and we told them they couldn't drink it, as long as ABC is not there, I don't know. It's just, that's the law.
Okay. And I believe that
Yeah, we're working
Ally
on
had
it.
asked you to be her spokesperson for that issue,
Yeah,
that
she
part of the
did.
thing tonight.
Yes, she did.
Okay, let's see. Then next, we would like to ask the council for approval of the consumption of beer in the barbecue and car show corridors on Friday and Saturday again this year. We will have signage and require wristbands as in the past, and we will fill out all necessary paperwork for this request. We will again be working with Bill Schwindeman on storm shelter and COVID-19 guidelines. We request permission to put a grain bin structure, the same as we've used in past years, at 7th and Broadway on the wheel. For ticket sales, beer sales, and event information, Marysville Chamber and Main Street would like to ask for permission to sell beer again with the proper permits and insurance. We will be purchasing the beverages locally and will fill out all necessary paperwork for this request. And I believe that's the end of my list. Any questions about this event?
Move to approve request.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stacy.
Have any notices and hearings? Next up, the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, any discussion about any of the items on there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Next, we have appropriations ordinance number 3796.
Move to approve appropriation ordinance 3796, amount of $536,714.23.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Roll call?
I do. I have.
Oh, yeah.
On page 14, CNH Capital with the chainsaw chains and sharpened chainsaw chains. I came across a bundle of 10 of them today for the city. That's like $10 a chain to sharpen.
Yeah.
They ought to check into the same sharpener that we use and just have the city purchase it, that, you know, you don't have to pay them. You have your own sharpener. You don't have to
Okay.
always pay.
Yeah, I'd agree. That was a pretty big.
We can look into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
I mean, it'll pay for itself in the long run.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Most of that was not chainsaw chains. Fry,
Yes.
Keating,
Yes.
Snelling, Eichmann,
Yes.
Garacki,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Barron's,
Yes.
Rump,
Yes.
7-0.
Okay. Next up, we have Austin with the staff reports.
Okay. First on my list, we received 2 bids to do ADA ramps and curb and gutter for this year's project. Low bid came in at $149,650, and I included the bid request on page 22 and 23, just to show you all the ramps that are in this project and the curb and gutter that is a part of this project. Inline was the low bid by quite a bit.
Move to approve low bid from Inline Construction for $149,650.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
All right, second thing on my list, we had requested engineering for the remainder of Keystone and also 11th Terrace, in addition to what we had already had BG conducting out on Keystone and 12th Road. Included is an email from Thaniel with the numbers that they would propose for that project. The total for the additional work is $48,100.
I think the one thing that caught my eye was the design percentage at 8%. Is that included in the 48,000, or is that what we're gonna start seeing from them for the whole project?
No, the 48,000 is 8% of the project, or
Okay.
is 8% of the construction.
All right.
So that, they based that 8% off of what they gave us for the 80,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yep.
It's answered.
I'd like to see us on the road before we do anything with it. It's a lot of money. I mean, if you break it down, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, it's a third of what the new restrooms in the park would cost. I mean, the other way I look at it too is that we have a lot out there to do before we got to them two sections.
Right. The counter to that, I mean, if the city does plan on repaving that road out there, this is a great start to having, hey, we have the plans, roll with it sort of thing. So that's just the counterpoint to that.
I'm sure it's not gonna get any cheaper.
No. Well, and the engineer's already gonna be there. So.
Yeah, it's not gonna get it cheaper, but you also not make a motion to take the road. Then I could spend it a lot easier. We're not making any progress of actually getting the road either.
Right, now, I was gonna ask, what's the process for making the road ours?
Forced or
annexation.
voluntary annexation is one way to go about it.
Voluntary is always preferable.
Yes.
It is. There are a few out there that have enough, most of them don't have enough property that they could stay out, but I think there's a couple that have enough
You got
acres that
one.
you can't force them.
I can think of two.
I think there's 3.
The three.
I'm
There
not
might be a
arguing, I
few.
just think of two is all I can think of.
I'm with you too.
Because one I have a question about, but I'd have to look at the, plot book.
Where would this money be coming from for this project?
Sales tax. I mean, that's what we have
just-
set up.
Just
Yep.
asking.
That's where the money for the engineering is gonna come out of.
Yes.
Yeah.
As of right now, that's how I have it set up.
But if you pay for the engineering now, like 4 years from now, is it gonna be out of date? And do we have to do it over again?
Well,
That's a fair question to ask.
I'm just-
I mean, engineering
No,
should be.
it's,
It has happened.
if you're not gonna get it done in the next couple of years, I would be leery of exactly that, being out of date, and so you spent the money and now you get to spend it all over again.
So counsel from the administrator, I mean, what's your opinion?
If you do the engineering, I mean, there is a chance that we figure out something else in the future. But the additional you might have to pay an additional price, but you won't be paying for the whole sum all over again. You would, the value points, as in the survey points that they gather, will be useful, no matter which way we go. So the job that they do, to get the survey and at least a good design work would be pretty valuable to saving us money in the long run versus waiting and then finding out this will be $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 for design work later on down the road versus $48,000 and maybe $15,000 on top of it to get it redone. Just a guess on top of that.
See both sides of it.
Oh, for sure,
I mean, we'll save money if we do the whole project. But yet again, we don't own everything where the project's done at.
No.
but,
Now, if we owned everything, you know, it's a lot better sell to the taxpayers of the city.
oh, I completely agree. On the other hand, I want to be ready to go.
I do too, if for some case, something pops and we can go with it.
I agree with that too, but we don't need,
Street. We had the engineering done for that, and then
how many times?
Yeah, I
have
was
we
gonna
done
say,
that
that's,
engineering?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
that's
got
what I don't
plans
wanna
and plans and
see.
plans sitting around here on certain projects
Yeah.
and they've never gotten done.
If you told me you had a completion date of the next 5 years, it would be a little,
The shelf life realistically probably isn't beyond 3, maybe 4 years.
you don't know what's gonna change next, you don't know what's gonna develop next, you don't know where some extra roads are gonna go in, if that's gonna change things. Because if I remember right, I still think there's like one road out there, doesn't it?
Didn't they want to take 11th Terrace
Does it
on
come
up to the highway?
well, that's
11th
one
Terrace-
that slices
11th
through.
Terrace. Oh.
Potentially.
Eventually,
Going
yeah,
north
maybe.
there to split that,
if they spent,
huh?
That's
probably-
what's
no.
set up in the,
No.
comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
in my mind.
Right.
That's in the 25-year comprehensive plan, as an
I don't see it
option.
either.
Yeah.
Jeff?
No, I don't see it anytime.
I
Lots
see
of
it in
buildup.
the
That's a
eventual-
lot of work.
Yeah,
I agree.
It'd be infill eventually.
right, yeah. There's a lot more work to go before that happens.
I agree.
I can see the benefit, and I think we talked about this before, was if you're gonna apply for some, if there were some grants out there, if there were some grant monies, if you had the engineering done, then you're ready to go.
It's a go project.
Yeah, one of the complaints
see
that
that
people
part
have
of it.
had, I mean, they've had plenty, is that we're doing it too piecemeal. They don't like this piecemeal approach that we've been kind of on the track.
But we're doing as we can afford. I mean, we're doing it without borrowing money.
We've been building it like the state of Nebraska instead of the state of Kansas, but, you know, I kind of feel like we're gonna have to bite the bullet and just make it happen in whatever way we can at some point. Or we're gonna end up spinning our wheels with, we're gonna be resurfacing part of it before the end of it's done.
Well, we're there now. I mean.
We are there
we're
now.
now.
11th, North 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see that part of it. It would be nice to have a plan. At the same time, this is more money that we're spending that was not in the budget. How are we coming on 11th Road, the second part of that? Is that gonna be, that was supposed to be done this year. Is there a chance of that still happening?
The last email, which I checked last week, Rob had gave me, we still want to have it bid. I'm trying to remember his words. I don't want to misspeak, but either by May or opened in May.
That was last I had heard too, for completion in
Yeah.
1st of November.
Yeah. He had said that he'd been talking to contractors saying that they'd love a fall project to fit into their schedule. And the last thing they were working on, or at least well, yeah, the last thing they were working on was that they thought we needed to take in more right-of-way in the area, but they hadn't provided me with how much yet. So they were still working on it.
And the launch pad will be fixed when they do that?
That project? Yes. Yes.
Goes up that far.
Yep.
As bad as I don't want to,
No.
I think we need to go ahead with this project, even though we don't know all the roads.
Better
So
have
I'm-
it.
I'm afraid, the way everything else has been going up, engineering, prices of everything, I think if we'd wait another 4 or 5 years to come back and try to do this project, I feel we'll be probably looking at a $65,000 or better additional cost for this. So I move we go, or have BG Consultants do this contract for $128,360.
No, you talking, the additional is 48,100.
The additional is 48.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second. I agree. I think we're better to have it than not.
I'd rather put it in the shelf if
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna take for a few years, and then if we have to add a little bit to it, at least we have the preliminary done.
Yeah.
If something changes out there, we can make the changes.
This is how they feel. If we don't do anything, they're gonna be fishing out in potholes. That's how they feel about it. I mean, that's how they are.
Well, Keith?
You could say the same thing in the north end of town now, too.
I mean, that's,
Keith, when they built out there, that was a
I
dirt
know,
road
but
to
they
begin
had
with.
25, 30 years of paying taxes. They haven't seen much return on it.
But this, Keith, just for point of reference,
I
this,
know,
this
I'm
portion,
just-
yeah,
I'm just-
no, this portion isn't a
I'm
part
feeding
of
back
that.
what you guys, what they're telling me.
Right,
I mean, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
and,
just giving you feedback.
right.
yep, I know.
And we have been
We've
doing
been out
sections
there
of
and
road.
repaired the streets and their subdivision and stuff, you know. I don't wanna hear we haven't put any money in that
No, I know.
subdivision.
We have.
See, I'm getting tired of getting nailed at, so.
Well,
I drove it today and I didn't.
how many of them's in this meeting hall right now? This is what irritates
I know.
me. If they've got a complaint, come
They
here
don't, they're not voicing their
and
opinion.
voice to all of us, not one person.
Can I add something as a resident out there? That if we move forward to some kind of, and this is for the public, if we move forward to some kind of construction project out there, there's gonna be some properties that are gonna get annexed. And that's a reality of it.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so people need to understand that. And so I would just like to be
On
very,
record.
yep, I mean, that's a reality.
Yeah, it is.
If they want the improvements, they're gonna have to
Yep.
annex to the city.
And it's not, most of the people that live out there paying taxes, they already paid for their good roads at a Keystone or wherever.
In that
But a lot of
subdivision.
people have had a good ride, and that's what's gonna happen.
Yep.
So,
Exactly. I agree with you.
Because on
there,
the flip
we're on the record now.
On the flip side, I've had people tell me, why does the city want to pay for roads they don't own? You know, that's what they've said. Why do we want to spend money out there? when
And
we
the
don't
argument
own-
is there's a lot of homes out there that are paying high taxes, and a new one going up right now that have roads, not the best roads, but they were roads that were paid for when the lots were bought. So,
Bottom line is, we're never gonna satisfy
No,
everybody.
you know,
no,
There you
no,
go.
but it's gonna
a
cost
step.
somebody.
Yep.
So,
So reread the motion. What's the motion?
The motion,
I think we had a motion second.
right,
I think Kevin
Yeah.
made the motion. I can't remember who's.
Additional
seconded.
$48,100.
yes.
Approve the engineering.
To approve the engineering for $48,100 on this project.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. We owned it?
6-1.
Yes, but we don't.
Parker.
Chris, the only one that normally votes no.
No, I'm usually right there with you.
All right. Next thing on the list, I put out an RFQ for C-CLIP Phase 2 engineering. I sent it out to 5 engineers, and I received responses from 4 of them saying, thank you for including us. Basically, this is summarizing, there was some conversation from one of them that was not so much thank you, but I won't denigrate that one. But they didn't have time to do this. I talked to CES, and they thought they'd be qualified, but they couldn't fit it into their time schedule. They're not the ones I had any problem with. And we received one engineer saying they could fit this into their schedule, and it was BG Consultants. They submitted their qualifications. So what I'm looking for right now is to be able to move forward on this project. What happens after this is they would submit their price for the project, and we can negotiate from there. But this is a typical RFQ KDOT project, how they should be done.
They do understand this C-clip is a priority over the Keystone.
Right,
correct?
no, they will see KDOT's schedule, and we're, according to KDOT, we're already behind.
Well, that's what
Before they even
I'm
sent me the
saying that.
schedule, we were behind.
Because this same group is doing this, they're doing the lagoon, they're doing that project out there. You get all your eggs in one basket,
Yep.
and then nothing gets accomplished.
Right.
Been there, seen that.
And yes, I understand. They felt,
Yeah.
they were kind of feeling that the, designing this and that road out there was beneficial so they could send the survey group all at once. So that is at least beneficial to them.
I just don't like all of our eggs in one company's basket.
I understand. And I tried to, I honestly tried with the engineers that have showed interest, and I was hoping CES would throw their hat in the ring, just so we could have a variety. But it didn't work out like that. So BG had designed everything up to where we have right now. They also submitted helped us put together the application for the project. So they already have a head start on the project. So hopefully that gets them back into the game, because I just the way KDOT likes to play. Yeah.
Move to get BG Consultants involved in Phase 2 engineering on the C-clip.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0.
Are they on the tail end of the lagoons?
It should, yes. We should be going out to bid. We got another 2-month extension a month ago, just so we could get the paperwork for the loan going, and that's stuck in KDHE's hands. They're on a signing tree, which has to make it through, and it's so backlogged that we don't understand that either. So it's, yes, we're almost to the finish line of design and bidding for the lagoons. So, and on the lagoons, we're going to have, so the Department of Ag or Water, I can't remember who's doing the stream bank, let's say Department of Water, is stabilizing the stream bank right south of where the lagoon, the wetlands is going to go. It's on our property. They're paying for it. We paid a permit fee. But they'll have at minimum 10,000 cubic yards of dirt, excess dirt, that we are going to utilize for the wetlands. I'm having inline use their trucks to get it from one place to the other, which is actually, we drove it, it's not very far, to drive and dump. But that helps a little bit with the wetlands project, because we're going to need a lot more dirt than that amount, but it's still quite a bit of dirt. So that's, we're starting that on that process.
How much dirt do you need?
Lots.
lot.
Lots. We're building up the whole ground.
That has to be brought up above flood level too, doesn't it?
The berms do.
Yeah.
They, yeah, but the bottom of the bottom of the wetlands also has to be brought up. So it's the whole project plan, because we're 8 feet of sand above the groundwater, and while that's okay, the KDHE wanted more, so building that up to go.
Oh, they're putting a new light, or the poles constructions west of Washington. They're changing all the poles. They're looking for places to actually haul their dirt that they dig the holes out of.
Yes.
So I was fixing fence along the county road, and they asked me if I was interested in dirt. I said, I don't have a whole lot.
Well, I mean, it depends on how much they have, and if it's worth to haul.
Well, I can't say what they said, but
You know who was doing it?
I can find out.
Okay, I would appreciate that, because we'll need.
Not just the holes for the poles, but the holes for the footings, and they gotta have some place to put all that stuff.
Okay. Okay, it's worth a look at. Okay, any other questions on that? The next thing is, in February, a lead service line survey was sent out to all residents of Marysville. So far, we've received 383 survey responses of the 1603 we sent out. If you haven't completed your survey, please do so as soon as possible. Who wants to know who didn't do it here? I got it. Hold on. Yeah. You're at the top of the list. Kevin,
I'm on the table.
Kyle,
Yeah.
Keith, Jeff, and Todd.
Haven't?
Have not.
I'll blame the post office. I get that mail every morning. and
Here we go.
I fill.
I got you. Here, hold on. Got you. Let me get you.
Getting chastised
And Kyle and Kevin that way.
I got copper.
I was gonna say I need one for the dental office. That's for your house. Yeah, take Kevin. Yeah, that's for your personal house.
You want? I got one at home. Still sitting on my table.
But we're working on that. We got some time to get this done, but the sooner we get through this whole thing, if you come across somebody who has questions, we'll be happy to answer them. I'll just say this out loud. If you don't know what you have, don't put unknown, because you automatically become lead. And don't be afraid to be honest. If you do have lead, just make a plan to fix that, because it's not about the government coming after you because you got lead pipes in your house. It's the fact that you shouldn't have lead pipes in your house for your own health.
I don't have lead pipes, I have copper pipes with lead solder.
They're not as worried about the solder.
But still,
That's what I have.
for the general public, we're hoping that just don't be afraid to figure it out. And if you need help answering your survey, we are willing to help you with that. Just don't put unknown, because it does not help. But please fill your survey out. If you need a new one, we will get you a new one.
I figured it out.
But any questions regarding this survey? None? I have nothing else right now.
I'm getting close.
Awesome.
As well as come on, pull me a material.
I hope Jeff doesn't have anything in his house.
As new as his house is, I'd say he ought to be good to go.
Next, the standing committee reports.
Major plumbing projects.
House was built.
A young girl. No.
Anybody have anything on street?
Yeah,
Yes.
when are we gonna fix the holes in the highway?
That is a question I had.
I haven't gotten back from AT&T, so I'll have to.
And I still have a problem with dirt being used for fill in a hole on the highway. I'm sorry, but we fill the hole on this end They dug it out, they put the concrete in it, and it's ready for asphalt. The hole that's a block up, they put dirt in it, or chat, or whatever, and they filled it level to the surface. And now someone's gonna have to dig 2 inches out so we can put asphalt in it. Well, when we come back and do the highway here in about 3 years,
Yep.
they're gonna grind right through that 2 inches asphalt and we'll be right back to that same dirt again. There's no stability in that. I think that rock needs to come out. I think there needs to be 4 inches or 6 inches of concrete put down and that hole done right.
Okay.
I know it sounds petty, but there's a
No,
lot, there's a
no,
lot of
'cause-
traffic on that highway, and we need to keep the integrity of it together.
Because all you're gonna end up with, there's a sinkhole.
Yeah, that's all it's ever gonna be,
It's gonna happen.
a soft spot in the highway.
Okay. I'll get back with AT&T on that one.
Also on the highway, the approaches to the concrete at 10th and Center are getting kind of pressed out, especially on the east side for the westbound traffic, so the north lane. It is, I mean, if you ever stopped there on a motorcycle, you can really tell, because you could have put your foot kind of down in the hole sort of thing, but it is getting just pushed out right where it meets that concrete. And it's quite the bump if you hit it too, so, I mean, I
We
don't
need
know
to bring our
what.
grinder out. and
I was
grind
gonna
it
say, well, I think it needs dug out and probably fixed, but that's gonna be difficult at that intersection strategically. But it's the westbound on the east side is the worst spot, but if you stop and look at them, you can see them all divoting out, just pushing up to that concrete. I mean, it's not like we could have put the concrete wider, it just would have happened further down the
Further
line.
down, yep.
I think it's brick underneath there, but I don't know what the, I don't know what the gap is between the brick and the concrete, if any. So. But just another one of those spots in the, holes in the highway, as it were.
Yep. Okay.
I would say they got the markings down on 11th Street going north, and then North Street going east and west. Looks good.
Good.
And I heard some good compliments on 16th.
Good. Yeah,
All
yeah, it was
nice.
pretty smooth, yeah.
Jumping a little bit, did they do the airport taxiways as part of that?
No,
Okay.
they decided just to do the initial projects. They gotta come back and do these ones over, the one over on Third Street, not Third Street, Elm Street.
Elm.
Elm
And then
Street,
Ninth
by the,
Street.
and Ninth Street, yes. So those projects, I'm not sure exactly what order they're gonna go into, but they did the big projects first.
Okay. Anything else on the street? Water, wastewater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How we doing with the manholes in the highway? I want that to settle again before we start put an overlay on it. And I know Kansas Department of Health and Environment now for probably 6 months or better.
That's going out to bid. That's going out to bid.
We finally got somewhere with it.
Yes, that's going out to bid.
Okay, so we're gonna jump on now. What about the 8th Street water line?
That's at
my next
KDHE.
one.
That's at KDHE still.
That was my next one,
I
Bart.
figured one would be at KDHE.
Yeah, that one's still at KDHE.
The original project was okayed, correct?
Yes, the original project,
Eight to
and
Walnut.
Rob was
Or eight, yeah,
eight,
the alley south of
yeah,
them.
south of them. Rob was hoping the fact that that had already been approved would grease the wheels. I forget how long it took to get 8th Street done through KDHE. I would have to do a comparative timeline on that, but I don't know if it's moving it any faster or not.
Okay. Anything else on water, wastewater?
I guess while we're talking manholes, the manhole in South 9th Street, up right next to the alley between United Bank and the Advocate, I know it always was a little bit raised there. I go through there quite a bit. But since that telephone project had a lot of that torn up and then put bricks back, it really sticks up now. I mean, if a car had a low-hanging oil pan, it might take it that kind of high. And some of the bricks they put back kind of haphazardly. One of them was flipped up, and I stopped and actually, it was flipped on edge. And I stopped and fixed it the other day. But they kind of, Yeah, it's the AT&T contractor. I don't know what you're gonna do about the whole thing being raised up other than pull the bricks back up, but that's not really on us to do.
I'll add that onto my email.
Okay. Anything else on water, wastewater? Parks and Rec?
Lifeguards at the pool?
I don't know, we had one more, I think, didn't we, last I heard?
Well, our
yeah.
biggest issue is that most of them are gone a lot. So yes, I have.
So how many lifeguards do we
I'm
got right now?
counting, hang on. 5, 6, 8, and,
How many?
there, 8, there's one more that he's getting recertified, so there would be 9.
Is there anybody who's reached out to us that we haven't followed up with or anything?
Not that I know of. I think Colleen's talked to all of them that have, I had heard rumors about 2 pools around that weren't gonna open, but they're both gonna open, because I was hoping to steal some guards, but at this point I haven't yet. Our biggest issue is that nobody wants to work on Saturday night, and all through the time, all the kids are going to Italy or somewhere.
Yeah, Italy and
And so
Spain.
I'll be lucky if I got 3 guards through that.
How long
And,
are
yeah,
they-
we can't run the pool with 3
How long are
guards.
they gonna be gone, Cindy?
10 days,
Okay, I'm
8
just
days
curious.
or something, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really tricky, I'm not sure how we're gonna handle that.
We just maybe limited hours then again this year on,
And I mean, she did ask if we'd have a problem with closing Saturday nights at 5. Then I think, because there are kids that are racing and kids that are playing ball and kids that are, I don't know what all. And I don't know how that would work. At least we'd be open most of that weekend day. I would guess that to be consistent, we were closed on Monday before, and you're probably gonna maybe have to do that again, I don't know that. But you can't run the pool with 3 guards.
I mean, I know you said these other pools that you thought were gonna close are actually opening. Is there any way we could snag a little, excess, little part-time help from some of these other pools? Is there any way we can, scabs?
I can try the one. The other one that's opening is, they didn't even know if they'd have quite enough, but they were gonna open as much as they could. So I think their guards are working as much as they can. Those pools don't take as many people. I can try the one. One year I had an offer for some, I can try that and see if they would just do Saturday nights. I mean, I don't know, whatever, something, anything.
Have we had any more interest from adults in the community as far as, people who may not have all those kinds of conflicts?
No, most of them won't work they will work in the day. They don't, and that doesn't help us. I mean, we have to have them all day, and we're not getting anywhere with that. So I don't know.
The funny thing, Kevin, in the early 90s, going to high school, I worked at Peschel's. And Gene was a very nice person to work for. The pool was the best place in the town to work.
it was.
But it's not that way anymore.
Oh,
And so something changed.
we
Everybody,
worked there.
Yeah.
everybody struggles. Every town, every city clerk, everyone.
It's not a Marysville thing, it's not a Kansas thing?
It's not a
like-
Marysville thing. It could be a Kansas thing. I'll just
It's
tell you
not.
that.
My
It's
brother
not.
said in Gladstone, Missouri, they're having the
Missouri,
same
Nebraska,
problem.
I had
everywhere's
one
saying no.
city clerk finally tell me that they had plenty of guards this year, but they didn't have anybody to mow the parks. And I said, well, try retired men for mowing parks, but you probably can't be lifeguards, so otherwise, they're everywhere.
But no, that was a premier job in high school
Yeah,
It was,
back in the
best
day.
place to work.
kids are so busy and required to do so much. If you want to play basketball, you got to play all year. If you want to play, it's really hard.
Difference in paradigm.
Different generation.
I hate it.
I seen Thrasher was there also and lifted that. Did they even take a look at where the slope was misaligned or sinking over there on the?
I talked to them when it first came out and did an assessment, and they did not want to touch the pool itself, because if they drilled into that, they risked damaging the Diamond Bright, and they did not want to they didn't want to mess with
I'm
that.
just curious.
So they thought they could, one, they could at least stabilize it if they got to it, and they never promised about lifting it, but there was a chance that they could be lifted. My recommendation would be to, because we will have to replace the whole pool eventually in Diamond Bright, that at that point in time, that we lift it and stabilize it right there. But otherwise, yes, Thrasher was there. They lifted the sections more than they thought they could. They said that went really well. And they grouted all the lines of the slabs that they messed with. So and it looks great. And they had to grind off one edge of one of the slabs because it was just a slight tripping hazard. And otherwise, it looks great. On the pool, Manhattan Energy Center was here last Friday. They chipped away the hole in the bottom of the deep end and got it ready. I think they put waterproofing down on the concrete last Friday. And then this week, they didn't say what day they'd be back. They said depending on weather, they'd be back to finish the process. The whole project should be, for them, was 3 to 4 days, so knock one day off. They'll do that deep end. They'll replace some tiles on the bench area where it goes from the shallow end to the lanes. And then they'll replace the grout where it's most damaged around the pool on their project. So that once they're done, it should be ready the pool theoretically should be ready to go. They wanted us to clean the pool before they put the Diamond Bright down. So they cleaned the gutters out today. They'll power wash tomorrow, I believe.
They're working on the power wash today.
They started today, but they'll finish it out. So that at least the pool will be ready to go. And then they wanted, like they said, the cure time for that Diamond Bright is 3 hours, and not to leave it outside the water for more than a day. So we are filling that pool as soon as they are out. No, probably on whatever mark they say you can go, we're going to start filling that up. So we'll hopefully be filled. Yeah, we'll spend some chemicals more than necessary, but at least we'll know whether the pool's ready to go or not. And then once we see that, the plan is to hold swim lessons the week before we're scheduled to open Memorial Weekend. So that week before they're hopefully we're going to have swim lessons that week right there. So we can get the season rolling as much as we can.
Will school be out then already?
So the schedule had them go to school on Monday, but they using that as a snow day.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Anything else on cemetery and airport, or
Parks and
Rec, I mean? Cemetery and airport? Police and fire? Admin and finance?
Have we set a meeting date for meeting with Convention and Tourism, MCDC, and,
Chamber?
yeah,
Not yet.
okay.
I have been working on some research on that, on what other communities are doing. So we're hoping to bring that along, try to have an admin finance committee meeting, and then have that overall, just so we know what information's out there. So we'll get a committee, we'll get that set up. If you guys could give us available dates, then we can get rolling that way. After the meeting.
All right. Anything else on admin and finance? No appointments. Do we have any reason to go, we need to go into executive session?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor? Or, I guess litigation would be the correct, at this point,
Yeah, legal.
and property acquisition. I'll bring it later.
Okay, that's true. Both at the same time.
Both at the same time?
At the same time.
I move the city council recess into executive session for consultation with an attorney on matters deemed privileged in an attorney-client relationship about litigation or claims against the city to KSA 75-4319B2. This meeting will include the mayor, city council, city administrator, and the city attorney. The open meeting will resume in the city council chamber at
20
minutes.
8:20?
Not for everything? or you
8:15.
need 20 for one and?
I think 20 altogether. I mean,
8:15. And just read the
Yep.
section on the other one.
Yep, I move the city council recess into executive session to discuss possible acquisition of real estate pursuant to the acquisition of real estate exception, KSA 75-4319B6. This session will include the mayor, the city council, and the city administrator, and the city attorney. The open meeting will resume in the city council chamber at, what did we say?
8:15.
8:15.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? call this meeting back to order. No binding decisions were made. Continue with the regular meeting. Roundtable.
Well, former city councilman passed away in the last week. Condolences to Terry Hughes' family and to Karen.
Yep.
Terry served I believe two tours, maybe it was only one tour of duty,
Just one, I think.
on council, but, I know he was kind of a fixture around town. So condolences to his family, and, that's all I got.
I kind of agree with Todd. I knew Terry way before outside of city business, but he was an interesting individual. He could educate you on certain things, and my condolence goes to their family.
Well, you two made my job a little easier. I don't have nothing now.
Mr. Mayor, I will say, I went to a CLE today, and it was paid through the court costs. And so, none of the city, the city pays in the state, and so it's offered to city judges and court personnel, so it worked out quite well.
Kyle? Nothing. Parker?
I got one thing.
Yes.
Kester block, gutters on the back of the buildings. Is someone gonna put back on?
Just put it today. We just put it, he went up and got the lift and, should have gotten it done today.
That downspout?
Yeah, the downspout. We just talked about it this morning. Yeah, no, yes.
That's all I got.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
How many things?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?